In this video, we're going to use Minitab to calculate a confidence interval for a mean. We're going to do this homework problem as an example. It says, some accounting firms give the client an option to pay a fee when the tax return is completed that guarantees tax advices and support from the accountant if the client were audited. A large accounting firm is trying to determine what fee to charge for next year's returns. In previous years, the actual mean cost to the firm for attending a client audit session was $700. To determine if this cost has changed, the firm randomly samples 35 client audit fees. The sample mean audit cost was $690 with the standard deviation of $65. So first we want to develop a 95% confidence interval estimate for the mean audit cost. So we're going to do this in Minitab. Things that we need to identify from the problem are our sample size, sample mean, our standard deviation, and whether that standard deviation is a known or population standard deviation, or if it comes from a sample. So I can see here my sample size is 35, and I have my sample mean of 690, and my standard deviation of $65. Now I don't see the word population or sample here next to standard deviation, but when I have the sample mean audit cost was $690 with a standard deviation of $65, that means that the standard deviation is also coming from a sample. So since it comes from a sample, that means that I'm going to use one sample t with the t distribution. If it were a population standard deviation or sigma, then I would use one sample z. So I'm going to go to Minitab here. Go to Stat, Basic Statistics, and here I see the options for one sample Z and one sample T. I'm going to change this drop-down menu to Summarize Data. And here I can enter my sample size, sample mean, and sample standard deviation. So sample size here was 35, sample mean was 690, standard deviation of 65. Then I'm going to click on Options. Here's where I put in the confidence level, which is given to me in the problem. This problem is asking for a 95% confidence interval, so I will leave that set at 95. That's the default in Minitab. Some problems will ask you for a 90% confidence level or a 99% confidence level, so you might need to change that in that case. Click OK, and click OK again. Now this box gives me my confidence interval. Minitab is abbreviating it CI, and it's always given in parentheses here with the smallest number written first. So 667.7 to 712.3. Now the problem is telling me to round to the nearest dollar, so I will need to do that here. Let me move this. So 668 to 712. Now the second part of the question is asking me about the claim that the mean cost has changed. So looking up here, the mean cost originally or before the sample was taken was $700. So what I'm looking for to determine whether the cost has changed is whether $700 is in my interval. If it is, then that means that the mean could be $700 if it's contained within the interval. If it's not contained within the interval, then that means that it's highly unlikely that the mean is not $700. So we are checking for whether the mean is in the interval. It is, so what that means is that it does not support the claim that the mean has changed, because we think that if the interval contains the mean of 700, then that means that the mean could be 700 and that we do not have evidence that the mean is different from 700. So answer choice A is going to be my answer choice there. So based on this interval, we are 95% confident that the actual mean is somewhere between $668 and $712. And that's how you find a confidence interval for a mean in Minitab.